So you make it to the show, you go to the NFL. What's that experience like?
Man, it was everything you expected, but none of what you knew. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, my first game in Buffalo, I was just hoping to run out the tunnel and not trip and fall on the turf. You know what I mean? But it was very enjoyable. I've had some of the greatest coaches in the game coach me and be around me, and Wade Phillips, Ted Cottrell, all those guys that coached me in my way there on defense. I still do some of the things that they taught me. Rob Ryan, Buddy Ryan, all those guys that if you look up their names, they're the Mount Rushmore defense, you know. Right. And some of those things that they taught me today, I'm still teaching those techniques to kids who are in third grade in Vian. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they apply. They apply. You know what I mean? And they don't really realize it. And, you know, kids ask me all the time, like, why do we do back drill so much? Well, because the first day I was in the NFL, the first drill I did was this back drill, you know? So those things are things that I really cherish about the NFL. Yeah.
So you were at the Bills, and then Teddy takes you to the Jets, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, how different were they, the Bills and the Jets? Like, as just fan based, everything.
It was nuts. Yeah. You know, in Buffalo, you might have 10 media guys. Right. You know what I mean? And you're in New York, you got 150 people at your practice that are representatives of the New York media. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, it was a showcase every week. And the difference was, though, too, also, is that I felt like Buffalo, our locker room was a little tighter. The Jets, there's just so much going on all the time. You know, we had some big name guys. I played with some Hall of Famers, Kevin Mawai and Curtis Martin. Vinny Testaverde, all those guys are there. Marvin Jones, who's one of the greatest linebackers of all time, is like sitting right next to me. He's my tutor, basically. You know, playing with those guys, but Buffalo was what I really, really enjoyed, you know, and the fan bases there are nuts. When it's just 15 below and there's 7 feet of snow on the ground and half the stadium don't have shirts on, and you got beat the week before, and they're still there. I lived in Orchard Park, and on Tuesdays on my drive to practice, those guys were, there's 100 RVs outside waiting for the game on Tuesday.
It truly is a religion.
Yeah, it is. And you can go to Walmart, you can go anywhere you want in New York, and they know you. You know, and they think you're their best friend. I seen Doug Flutie one time at Walmart, and there was a whole line of people that was running to go get Flutie fakes and Sharpies, hoping that he's signing. He had to run up out of there because it's like the whole Walmart was going nuts, you know?
I'm sure just the experience was just chaos, and in a time where, like, pre-social media, right, and you only have these stories, right? You can't. Right. Today, you're like, oh, someone has a video of you in this store or whatever, or coming up to you, getting a picture, and it's a total different time to grow up, but you build better. I think you probably built better memories and personal experiences, right? Rather than people sticking a camera in your face, right? Saying, can you take a picture? And you're like, dude, like, I don't even know who you are, right? Yeah. But yeah, great experience, no doubt. And then, like you said, you get the feeling you got to come home. Tell me about that, coming back home. You obviously got a family as well at this point, and you coming home, and the kids and high school football and stuff like that. Yeah,
it was year 7, being in New York, and I had got hurt, and just things were changing. Herm got fired, our staff was getting changed. Ted had left and went to Minnesota, and I had got to the point to where it's like I was tired of the business side of it. I just wanted to play football and enjoy my family, and then my wife trying to take kids to school, and it was like the ideologies and the thought processes of those teachers was totally different than what we come from in the South, and it's like, man, all that stuff was bothering us as a family, and my kids loved Oklahoma. They loved their family, you know what I mean? And so I was at the point to where, man, is it all about money or getting the next contract, all of those type of things, where I still had one more year left on my deal, and I told my wife, I was like, I don't really think I want to play again. And she's like, you better make sure or whatever, and because she know how much I loved it, you know what I mean? And
it's been part of your life for so long, you haven't done anything else, right? It's just been football.
Just been football, and I was like, well, I think I'm at the point to where I just want to really enjoy life and not really life on my terms, because I was always having having to be somewhere, be connected to something, and people say, well, that's what you live for. No, that's not what I live for. That's just what I did. You know, my passion was people, relationships, and my family. And so I made a decision to come home, and my agent still tried to say, hey, we got these teams calling you if you want to get whatever. I was like, I don't want to go bounce around. I don't want to be a journeyman football player. I was like, I don't have to prove anything to anyone, and I just want to come home and enjoy it, you know, and I did. I mean, I came home and started meeting coaches and volunteering at high school football football games and stuff like that, and I was able to coach 2 guys who played in the NFL from high school, from Oklahoma, and that's kind of like, that was like my legacy dream, to be able to have those guys like that.
Which is something now that you continue to do and will continue to do for a long time, right? That is your thing now, right? It's like, hey, I have this experience, I'm going to pass it on to the next one, family members and whoever, you know, kids coming up, right, that you've and successfully coached to the league.